Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have multiple speakers, so you'll have to actually attach it.
Or I can attach it to whoever's speaking. Yeah,
They'll switch. So.
We're not gonna have like our own microphone up here.
That's gonna be the best bet we've got. Like if we can get maybe a little bit of tape.
Yeah, it's on.
We're at over. I'm moving. I don't know how live it is. It might be a little bit right.
Hello, 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 hello.
Okay, so 15 second delay. So you want Lieutenant Commander Soma right here where I'm standing now? Oh yeah, you gotta wait for it. Can you? What about sound? Can you hear Barney talking?
Can you hear me talking? Barney, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sound check, sound check. Sound check.
You can't hear you very well.
No?
So keep talking. Stand up normal like the presenters are going to be and just start talking. Nice and loud.
Hello.
Well, like,
Hey, Officer Barney. 1, 2, 3. Sound check. 1, 2, 3. Should I mess with the sensitivity?
Right. He stood back up and he should stand up and talk normal here. Is that good?
I am talking normal.
Right.
This is me, Petty Officer Barney.
It's just
Speaking. It's windy out here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna keep talking so that if you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me.
Well, the shotgun's not going to make it. So.
Yeah, shotgun's not gonna make it.
Okay.
My name is Barney. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 50.
Did you see the
50, 50, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you hear me? What? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What? Can you hear me?
I stood
Mine is Barney. My name is Barney. My name is Barney.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We're good.
Okay.
Yes.
That tonight, any decision to suspend a search is painful. In this particular case, we were searching for fellow professional mariners. We were also searching for members of the extended Coast Guard family. One of our Coast Guard petty officers, chief petty officers, had a brother that was on the El Faro. I received an email yesterday from one of our civilian employees at the Coast Guard Yard in Baltimore, Maryland, and he told me that his family friends, good family friends, that he saw one of the crew members come home as a baby, saw him grow up, saw him go off on the El Faro. So those type of things make it very personal as we search. But I know that the Coast Guard, along with our brethren in the Navy and the Air Force, as well as the commercial tugs that were out there helping us search, did all they could in this search. Dangerously low altitudes to try to find the ship, find survivors. On Sunday, one of our helicopters flew for 11 hours, over 11 hours, including 2 in-flight refuelings, because they wanted to keep that search going during the best search opportunity that we had on Sunday. Our cutter crews, as soon as they arrived on scene, it was an all-hands effort. Folks who don't usually go to the bridge, engineers, cooks, did so. And they grabbed binoculars, night vision goggles, and would stay up there for hours scanning the horizon. So it meant a lot to them. I know, I say all this because I want the families to really know how committed we were to finding their loved ones, to finding our fellow professional mariners, and really to find those who go down to the sea in ships and do work upon great waters. I hope the families can take some small measure of peace from that. So as most of you know, there will be an investigation now that the official search will be suspended at sunset tonight. And I would like to introduce Vice Chairman Dinzar from the National Transportation Safety Board, who will make a statement as well.
Good afternoon. I'm Bella Dinzar, Vice Chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board. As reported last night, investigators from the NTSB arrived on scene here in Jacksonville yesterday morning, and we began our on-scene investigation of the sinking of the El Faro that occurred on October 1st. Before I tell you about our investigative process, I want to extend our condolences on behalf of everyone at NTSB to the families and friends of the victims of this tragic accident. And we, along with all of you, were very saddened to learn that no survivors have been found. Our Transportation Disaster Assistance, or Family Assistance Group, has been tirelessly working with the teams that have already been provided by the U.S. Coast Guard and by TOTE to assist and inform the families, and they will continue to do this. They will continue to support all the families with missing loved ones throughout our investigation, both here on the scene and as the accident investigation progresses. As I've previously mentioned, although both the NTSB and the U.S. Coast Guard have the authority to conduct marine casualty investigations, the NTSB is the lead agency on this accident investigation. I'd like to explain a little more in detail about the NTSB's party process, which we've had in place for over 30 years. The NTSB offers party status to those companies, governments, and associations that have employees, facilities, or equipment that are involved in this accident. We offer party status to these organizations because they can provide the technical expertise and the relevant information supporting the development of the best factual record that we can get. We've established parties to this investigation, and the parties include the U.S. Coast Guard, the American Bureau of Shipping, and TOTE. The NTSB has put together a multidisciplinary team to investigate every aspect and he also has a group of highly experienced investigators who have made specifically, they're interviewing the master of El Yunque, which is the sister ship of the El Faro. Our engineering group has obtained the vessel safety management system. They're interviewing the TOTE designated person ashore, who had interviews with the off-rotation member management system as well. They'll be examining. Our human performance team is hard at work gathering personnel records and scheduling interviews. And to clarify, from the equipment that will be used to locate the vessel and the voyage data recorder. We are coordinating with the United States Navy to bring in that equipment. We also wanted to provide you an The type is a Voyage Master 2 manufactured by Sperry Marine. It's a type of recorder known There are reports that this vessel has sunk in deep water. There are ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, that are capable of being operated down to these depths. Assuming we are able to locate the vessel, the VDR could be obtained from the vessel and brought to the surface using these ROVs. All of our teams have been working around the clock to gather information and facts to determine what caused this accident in order that we can prevent these accidents from ever happening again. As to the schedule going forward, our investigation is well underway. We're working closely with our partners to 10 days, but we will be here as long as it takes. Although we made good progress today, I do want to emphasize that we are still early in but why it happened so that we can prevent it from happening again. Let me reiterate too that we do not make that type of communication. ROVs.
But I meant the data recorder itself. Would that depth be a concern for how effective it is?
So the question is it a concern for the depth of the VDR, the voyage data recorder? And the voyage data recorders are built to withstand a lot of pressure, and with that, if the vessel is located, then there are equipment that can be used in order to go to those depths to retrieve a VDR.
Who owns that information?
Yep.
Chris Love from CBS News. What equipment are you going to use to locate the ship and the VDR?
From what's been used by the Coast Guard for the search and rescue operations, and that's equipment that contains sonar that's used by the U.S. Navy, and that's what we're under discussion with them now about how to use that. Yes.
Stephanie Brown, WOJ News, Jacksonville. Were you able to find the second lifeboat? If so, what condition and any other signs of remaining crew?
Yeah. No, we were never able to identify the second lifeboat. We did identify the first one, located it. It was heavily damaged. If the second lifeboat was out there, we're confident we would have found it. With the type of assets we were using to search, we're confident we would have found it at that point. In terms of other life-saving equipment, we did find a deflated raft, and we did find a couple of personal flotation devices as well.
Are there any other remains that were uncovered?
They were, no, just in the one situation where we found remains. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me, sometimes the voice data recorder has a ping, as does the automatic alarm system that has gone off. Are there two separate pings that you can producing a ping, so to speak, or just are they the same, one and the same device?
I think you were asking what was the initial distress? Oh, two separate things. Two separate things. So we were notified Thursday morning of an emergency distress, but we didn't get a position along with that initially. What happened was there was some communication between the vessel and the ship owner, basically indicating where their position was and that they were disabled. They were disabled. They were without propulsion, and they had taken some water inside the ship, and they were listing 15 degrees, meaning leaning over 15 degrees. So we received that information. So the VDR is a different.
Let's be clear, there should be two items that would be producing an alert sometime if they were working properly.
I can't speak to the VDR. I would defer.
So the question is about the VDR. The VDR doesn't actually activate until it's immersed in water, and then at that point it starts emitting the pings. Yes.
Robbie Wheeler from Wall Street Journal. You learned yesterday that there was communication between the ship's owner and the ship around the day that it sailed.
Looking at every communication, electronic, telephone, paper, any kind of communication that has gone out that will help us with our investigation.
Not yet. No additional communication discovered yet.
That is what we are trying to figure out, is we're looking at all the communications.
Jim Sheldon from the Times here in Jacksonville. Can you give an idea of how many hours the search entailed? Said figuring is going to end at sunset. And can you give, for those of us who don't know, what the assets were that were used in this?
Sure. We are today is the 6th day, so it's basically 6.5 days if the search would go on, ending at sunset tonight. So the type of assets we used Coast Guard C-130 aircraft. We also a Navy P-8 aircraft flying right out of here in Jacksonville. The significance of the P-8 is it can fly at very high altitudes. We flew it up at 27,000 feet, and it could scan a wide swath of the ocean. And that's really what helped us determine that the El Faro was not out there, or that the second lifeboat was not out there. Those aircraft are 270-foot cutter, the cutter Resolute, a Sexton, which is one of our new fast response cutters. They're 154 feet long. There were also 3 hired to be concert. The search planning efforts were coordinated in Miami, and we gave direction to those units each day of what we wanted them to do.
Began Thursday morning, is that correct?
It began Thursday morning with call-outs to the ship. we directed, there were Hurricane Hunter aircraft that flew Thursday and Friday right into the eye of the hurricane, but they were flying at 10,000 feet. We asked the Air Force planes to do call-outs to the ship. They did that. They received no reply. So, yes, ma'am.
We talked to some families after the meeting today, and they felt like the search is ending too soon, and their people see, able-bodied sea people would know how to survive, that they could still be there, survival suits are out there. Why end the search when they feel there's still hope?
Right. Again, the decision to end a search, suspend a search, is painful. And it's based on the art and the science of search and rescue. The science speaks to the physiology of how long can you physically survive if you are in the water. And that's normally that 4 to 5 days that I mentioned before. Then you have to look at the art of it. Yes, they were experienced mariners, but if they abandoned ship on Thursday, it would have been into that Category 4 storm. 140-mile-an-hour winds, those 50-foot waves, zero visibility with the constant threat of ingesting water, salt water. It's just a dire situation for anybody to. I understand that the families are still the Coast Guard had zero communications with the vessel itself. All of our communications occurred with the shipping company. They're the ones who told us the last known position, as well as the fact that they took some water in and they were listing 15 degrees and that they were without propulsion. So that's when we immediately activated our search and rescue system, but no one was ever able to communicate them through the callouts.
Was there a hatch open or a scuttle?
There was a report that there was a topside hatch that was open that allowed some water in. I am not certain of the circumstances of why it was open, but that's where the water came from and caused that 15-degree list.
We have a
Who
report
owns the
that there was
BDR, by the way, that information when you retrieve it? Who is responsible to get it? And who has ownership to that information?
The VDR.
I'm going to take the question from the woman who's been waiting patiently over there.
Were there any other ships in that, this might be from New York, were there any other ships in that shipping lane during the time period where
There were 2 other ships that were in the area that we told about the El Faro, and we asked them to do call-outs. There's an unwritten rule about mariners that if there's another vessel in distress, you'll stop what you're doing to go to assist, and they certainly did that, but they obviously couldn't get too close to the storm either, but they did call-outs. The Hurricane Hunter aircraft did call-outs, and again, we tried to get as close as we could with our aircraft on Saturday, and they were still getting battered by 100-mile-an-hour winds. When they returned to Clearwater, panels from the aircraft had fallen off. I mean, they were pushing the absolute extent of their operating limits to get as close as they could.
Last question.
So.
we have a report that there was a manual ping from the VDR when the ship went down last Thursday. Can you say yes or no to that?
I can't speak to that.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, we have a report that there was a manual ping from the VDR when the ship went down last Thursday. Yes or no?
I'm not aware of that. The question is, are we aware of any manual pings? Right now, that's part of our investigation.